so for the last few days, we've just been looking at some background information on time periods, getting ready to start this historical fiction unit. And we know that one of the most important things is understanding the time period, okay? We're going to also be starting a book club. You guys have picked what you're interested in reading. I put you into clubs, and today you're going to start your club work. But one of the most important things before we actually start is that you need to demonstrate how you're a responsible club member by setting expectations. Now, right up here are some expectations that have been set for clubs. I'm going to read those to you, and then I'm going to tell you what your job's going to be for the next few minutes. Here are some expectations that a lot of people use when they set up clubs. The first thing is that you complete your reading and your reading responses on time. Second, you come prepared to discuss your ideas. Third, you listen. Fourth, you make sure everyone has a chance to speak and build on each other's comments, and you disagree politely. And we've been working on that when we say, I don't agree because, okay? The fun thing about book clubs is you guys get to discuss books that the same book that you're reading, kind of like we did with Simon the Beaver. Now, when we do independent reading, you're all reading different books and you talk about that. But this, you're all talking about the same book. And adults often have book clubs about books that they're reading. And I just like to talk about the book that I'm reading. So it kind of makes it a little more interesting when you're all talking about the exact same book in your club. Okay? What we have to do today is we have to first come up with a name for our book club. Then, on the paper, you're going to write the name of your book club, who the members are, and what book you're reading. Then you're going to tell me whether you can agree to these rules. Then we have a couple of really important things to decide. First, what's going to happen if someone is not prepared? And second, how do you want to set up the work? Do you want to take turns reading out loud? Or do you want to say we're going to read 5 pages independently, read, and then write about it, and then tomorrow we'll discuss it? So I'm going to tell you some ways that other kids have done it, okay? Sometimes one group likes to go off and they like to take turns reading out loud, and then they stop, they go back to their seats and write, and the next morning, or I say morning, but we always did reading in the morning. The next time that we have reading, you would meet with your group and talk about your responses and why you wrote what you wrote before you start reading that day. Other kids in other groups would say, we're going to read 7 pages today, and we're going to really focus on the lesson that Mrs. Martin taught us today, and it was on setting or whatever the lesson was. You'd read the 7 pages independently, you'd write about it, and then, again, the next time we meet for reading, the first thing you do is get in your group, do your discussion, talk about the book, set your goal for the day, and then go off and read. So you kind of have some choices here as a club. First choice is whether you want to read out loud or whether you want to read in your head. And then the second thing you have to decide is what's going to happen if someone's not prepared. What if someone doesn't do their work for the day? What are we going to do as a book club? And I can tell you right now, something that won't work for me is for you to say, oh, we're just going to tell them what happened in the chapter and keep going. Because all you're doing, if you do that, is letting them be lazy and not do their work. There has to be a consequence. Okay? Now, book clubs only work if people are prepared and ready to talk. So you really need to think about what would be fair if someone's not ready. Because if someone's not ready, they're affecting the whole group. So how are we going to solve that problem? Okay? So I know that's a lot to think about. Club name, who's in the club, the book you're reading, whether you're going to read to yourself or out loud, or first, whether you can agree to these, and then whether you're going to read independently or out loud while you're in club, and consequences for not being prepared. Everybody know what you need to do? Mm-hmm. All right. sometimes it works better if you spread out. Some clubs like to meet at table places. You're gonna take a piece of lined paper, club name, club members, book. Can you agree to the expectations? Out loud or silently. What's gonna happen if someone's not prepared? Okay? Katie.
What if, do we like take one page
Per group. And then I collect them. And this is kind of this is what we agreed to, this is how we're gonna do it.
Will there be like, we take our book home and then we do like homework?
That's really up to your group. Some groups really like to start reading these and really wanna get reading and wanna read a bunch of them while they have the chance. Okay? Cause that would count for your 20 minutes if you chose to do some of it at home. Okay? Alright. So each group's gonna need just one sheet of lined paper, one person to scribe, and go ahead and let's get going and get busy.
Yeah.